Everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 11 and compare it against the iPhone 12 mini and see which specific phone you should go and pick up in 2023. Now, I will definitely tell you, if you have either one of these phones, they're both very good, but I do think that there's not really like a direct clear winner here, and we'll talk about that throughout this video. But if you want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these phones, you can definitely tell the iPhone 11 is the bigger phone here. The iPhone 11, which came out in 2019, had a 6.1-inch IPS panel on the front. And I definitely do think during that time it was a pretty good looking panel. Definitely wasn't anything crazy, but it's definitely been superseded, I would say, with the direct successors of these phones, which is always good to see. I like seeing the newer phones having more capability. But you can see from here you have the notch, you have a little bit of bezel around it. Definitely doesn't look outdated, but I would definitely say the 12 mini has that newer type of design. So for one, it is still having that notch and it's about the same size as the iPhone 11, so it's kind of even more like in your face, I would say. But you are getting a little bit less bezel overall on this phone. So you can see around the sides right here, like it does have a little bit less bezel. I think you guys can kind of tell. And I think that's a big advantage for something like the 12 mini. So that's probably one thing to keep in mind. It is a 5.4-inch panel though. So it is a smaller display overall than the iPhone 11s. It's not a big deal, but again, it's just one of those things to kind of keep in mind in the back of your head. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there. But another big thing is actually with the thinness and thickness. So the thinness and thickness is not a big deal, but when you actually take a look at the sides, you can definitely tell that the iPhone 12 mini has that flat side to it, where the iPhone 11 has that curved side. I don't know if it's like a big deal or like a big deal breaker here, but it has been one of those things that I kind of take a look at because that flat side is way more modern. With the iPhone 11 with its curved side, it's just one of those things to kind of keep in mind inside of your head. On the back though, we do have a little bit of a different styling as well. Now my 12 mini is completely cracked. The cameras are intact though, which is very interesting. The iPhone 11 completely still in great condition. Now both of these have dual camera setups up top. They both have glass backs, wireless charging. The iPhone 12 mini does have that MagSafe capability, which is really cool. And that is kind of it. They both have lightning ports at the bottom as well. So that kind of covers it. That there's not like a whole lot of differences here that like one phone has way more features than the other one. I would say in terms of like the raw features, they're both almost at the same caliber. But I would probably say that the iPhone 11, I like having a bigger phone. It definitely does feel pretty good. But the iPhone 12 mini is a very, very good phone as well. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. In terms of software and longevity, this is where things kind of get a little complicated. So with the iPhone 11, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure this phone's going to be lasting another like 3 years or so. To give you some perspective, the iPhone 10 is still supported, the iPhone 10s is still supported, and then the iPhone 11s are, pretty much where these ones are. So there would have to be 2 more iPhones to be discontinued before these ones get it. So that's kind of that. But the highest likelihood here is that the iPhone 12 mini is probably going to be the one that gets discontinued. I think that's the one that's kind of obvious, and that's just kind of what happens here. So with the iPhone 12 mini, it's probably not going to last as long. I mean, it's not going to last as long as the iPhone 14s, but it's pretty much going to be up there. It's still going to be lasting longer than the iPhone 11. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there as well. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. The iPhone 12 mini has that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 11 has that Apple A13 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM as well. So let's go and see which one's the fastest one between both. Okay, there we go. A little bit at an angle, but that should be good. All the apps are clear in the background. Let's get into it. Phone calls, 3, 2, 1. Okay, kind of the same thing. Music, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 2 different panels, so we'll just kind of leave that one in the background. App Store, 3, 2, 1. Okay, my iPhone 12 mini is not connected to Wi-Fi, so that's not going to be good. Let's go up out of here. Let's do Mail, 3, 2, 1. 12 mini seems to be faster. Oh, I totally messed that up. Let's do Clock, 3, 2, 1. Okay, both look pretty good. Sorry about the fingerprints on the display. Let's do Photos, 3, 2, 1. Okay, not like a big difference there. Hopping out of here, Camera, 3, 2, 1. Okay, both look pretty good. So far, I'm not really seeing that big of a difference, at least as big of a difference as I thought we were going to see. We have some applications. We'll do Stack, 3, 2, 1. Okay, a little bit of a pop-up here. We're just going to continue. Just do whatever. So that one was a little weird. We do have pop-ups, which is strange because I've already went through all the pop-ups on both these phones. So let's go and get into some gameplay here. Let's see how far we can get before we start seeing some glitches. And I think the iPhone 11, early on, we did see a little bit of a glitch there. Wasn't a big deal, but it is, again, one of those things to kind of keep in mind. Hopping out of this one, let's do Temple Run 2. 3, 2, 1. And almost the same thing. I think the 12 mini was slightly faster just by a little bit. The iPhone 11 still did a really good job there, in my opinion. Let's go and get into this game and see what happens. Go and click play. And I don't think the graphics are going to be that big of a difference between these two. I think the iPhone 11 glitched up a little bit. I could be wrong. But definitely I would say the iPhone 12 mini did a pretty good job there. And that kind of covers that. I mean, we do have Subway Surfers here. Let's see if we have Subway Surfers here. We do. 3, 2, 1. But definitely when it comes down to it, I think the iPhone 12 mini is probably going to be the faster phone, as you guys can kind of see. That every single pop-up that I've gone through and everything like that, it has been kind of giving me a better experience on the iPhone 12 mini than on the iPhone 11. But that's not to say the iPhone 11 is a slow phone. From everything that we tested today and probably going forward, the iPhone 12 mini, the iPhone 11 has still done a really good job. And I feel like going forward, this phone is still going to be very, very good as well. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there. Now in the camera department, like I mentioned before, you were getting a dual camera setup on both of these phones. So that's something that's great. Getting a dual camera setup is awesome, and I love having that type of capability. And I don't really think, again, you're missing on it too much from either one. There's 4K at 60 on the back and the fronts of both of these phones. Now starting off with the iPhone 11, I guess, this is a very decent camera still, I think, for the most part. You do have that wide ultra-wide camera like on both of these. You have the ability of getting that 0.5x zoom, which is great. So you can zoom out a lot. You can also zoom in, 5x, but both these phones experience the same thing. So you're not really missing out on anything on either one of these phones, so not really that big of a deal here. You still have video mode, you still have portrait mode here as well, which is awesome. So you still have a lot of quality and capability on this phone, which that in and of itself is actually really cool. Now on the iPhone 12 mini, on the other hand, you are still getting a very, very good phone as well. So with this type of phone, I mean, it's probably a better camera overall than the iPhone 11. So you're getting that ability of zooming out a lot. So you do get that 0.5x zoom, which is awesome. You are only getting 5x zoom on this phone too, but both of these phones experience the same thing. So it's not really a big deal there. I still think this camera quality is pretty good. I would say though the iPhone 11 and 12 mini, the iPhone 11 and 12 in general, kind of have the same type of camera setup more so than the iPhone 12 to the iPhone 13. Like I'll say the iPhone 11 camera quality is similar to the iPhone 12, more so than the iPhone 12 is similar to the iPhone 13. So keep that in mind. I still think the camera quality on the iPhone 12 mini is really good, and the iPhone 11 is very good as well, but the iPhone 12 mini is probably better. So battery life wise, you're probably getting better battery life on the iPhone 11 as well. I've tested it very thoroughly, but recently the iPhone 12 mini has been giving me pretty decent battery life as well. So to kind of sum up this whole entire video, what I'll definitely tell you is that I don't think there's like a clear winner here. Like I do think both these phones do a great job. I'd probably say that the iPhone 11 is probably the one that I would look at more so as being like a good overall phone for a majority of people. Like this one has a bigger display. It has still good build quality for the most part. And I like the display, and I like the fact that it's not that much slower or that much worse of a camera coming from the 12 mini. And it is a little bit cheaper now. But the iPhone 12 mini is a pretty good phone too, and for that size, it's actually kind of funny because you look at a size phone like this and you wouldn't think it could handle whatever you throw at it. But it's not quite the case. This is a very capable phone, and it has a ton of just power within it for sure. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.